It's IndyCar's only visit to the Pacific Northwest, and the final practice session of the weekend is underway here from Portland. BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland. Getting set to go tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time, but first a final 30-minute tune-up for all 28 cars in the field to just get a read on this racetrack one more time. See the weather here, been kind of mixed clouds today. It's cloudy right now and it says 67 degrees, but it feels a little chillier than that. It's gotten definitely cooler the later in the day here, and it was nice during qualifying. Sun was peeking out, but a little bit chilly here in the evening hours tomorrow. Well, there's been a few engine changes that were planned coming into this weekend. There's been a couple new additions to that list as well. One of those is on the Scott McLaughlin car. Georgia Henneberry's downstairs and can maybe tell us a little more.
That was right, and I want to second you guys talking about qualifying. That was just so exciting, and after qualifying it was announced that the 3-car of Scott McLaughlin was going to change an engine, the first unapproved engine change for Chevy of the year. I just talked to Scott before he jumped in the car, and he said he could feel that something was off. He felt like they were about a 10th off, and he kind of felt like he knew it was going to happen, so they just decided to take the hit this race. So nonetheless, Scott is going to have to start in the lower third of the field tomorrow. We know how important starting position is here at Portland International Raceway, so he's going to have some work to do tomorrow, and this is going to be a very important session to figure.
And here's a replay from a moment ago of Romain Grosjean into turn 1 with Marcus Ericsson on the outside.
These two used to battle each other on the Formula One circuit for years, had a couple run-ins themselves, so this is just fresh out of the pits. This is everybody on an out lap, and Marcus just trying to hang it on the outside, but Cole Tires gets it locked up.
Christian Lundgaard just a minute ago working out of turn number 1 and 2. Oh, big moment. Good save.
Maybe,
right side, clear.
Maybe just clipped that curb in turn 3. I mean, he looked close to it, didn't look on it necessarily, but if you just get the sidewall of the tire to brush it, it's a pretty steep curb there in turn 3. You can just kick it off.
Here's Rena's VK, agricultural racing.
We've seen so many drivers drop a wheel, drop 2 wheels, drop 4 wheels out of turn 6. It's just a super long left-hander, and it doesn't quite open up on exit the way you want it to as a driver. You're trying to feed that throttle in, and you're hoping you can start opening your hand up, but it just sort of keeps cornering. The radius doesn't open up the way you want it to, and it's so easy to just overwork the right front, get a bit too greedy on the throttle, and drop a wheel or two. One guy that's had pace but hasn't had any issues like that so far is Rossi, minus what happened in qualifying. In Georgia, what do you know about what's happening on the 7th stand? Oh, sorry, before we get down, you can see Toby Sowery exited turn 2 there. Quick little spin, got it back going. No harm, no foul for the 51. So yeah, just right in front of him there is Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi goes by.
Go down to Georgia.
Well, as we see Toby Sowery right there, too, kind of a tough weekend for him so far. In the first practice session, he only got 13 laps, 4 really where he felt like he could push it. He couldn't get the car out of first gear. And then in qualifying and practice, too, also having issues as well. So he's definitely not having the run that he wanted. But we were riding on board with Alexander Rossi. He's 11 laps in. He's 10th on the board. Let's hear what he has to say about the 7.
How's the balance?
Bit of understeer, left front scraping at 4-5.
So battling some understeer right there, looking for a rebound from Worldwide Technology Raceway, so I'm sure they'll go to work on that.
Rossi on the red, so trying to get a good read on some of that dag that we talked about. Heard him say something about the right or the left front. Couldn't quite make out exactly what that was. But yeah, been a bit of a mystery for these guys this weekend. Brian Barnhart said that they unloaded off the truck on Friday and felt like they were every bit as good as the top 2 or 3 best cars, and then just in qualifying couldn't find a way to put it together. So very frustrating for sure. See Pato O'Ward there. Sounds like he may have had a brief moment off the final corner. Oh, yeah.
That's a
good little hit there.
Decent sized lick coming off of turn 12. You see the wall sort of curves back in.
It almost looked like he dipped off the road, and it almost pulled him into the wall. Let's watch the left front. Just got over there maybe a little too far.
Trying to see, does it look like his steering went a little bit right hand down after that? Well, let's see what he had to say about it on the radio.
Touch the wall, left-hand side. I think it's fine. Do you want me to box or stay out? Tire pressures look fine. If the wheel is still straight, happy to stay out.
It's all good from the 5.
As we see Kiffin, does he have an issue?
He's got a problem.
Oh, he's got a
flat left rear.
I wonder if it was from hitting that curb or if he had that problem ahead of time.
Fast part of the racetrack over there on the backside.
It was good that he felt that, though,
yeah,
when he did, and didn't try to turn in flat out to turn 10.
So bring the 4 car to the pits. And again, he's another one with one of those engine changes. Not a huge penalty for them. They qualified in the 26th spot, so they'll just drop back a couple tomorrow.
I believe he may have only just put those reds on.
He's only run 13 laps. So let's watch this here. This is Jack Harvey on the inside there, and then VK behind him in the green and black 21.
So tire looks up there, but as he hits that curb, maybe? Oh, does VK get in the back of him?
Yeah, maybe right there.
Yeah, that could be it.
He did kind of dip off the other side of the curb, so hard to say exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
Going to look back at Armstrong from Pietro Fittipaldi. Armstrong here last year was 19th. Has been much better than that this weekend. A good opportunity here for Pietro Fittipaldi as well. Not a rookie, but seeing a lot of these tracks for the first time, and Portland is not one of those places. He's raced here before, raced here back in 2018, finished 9th, so kind of talked about the advantage for Yuri Vips of coming back to a track for a second time. Certainly helps Pietro to have some laps at any of these racetracks that he's going back to here as a full-time driver.
For sure, and he's had a good run. He qualified 13th, did Fittipaldi, and it's too bad the engine penalties in front of him end up slotting in just in front of him, so he doesn't gain anything from that. But he said he got kind of held up a little bit in qualifying, caught a bit of traffic, so the pace of the car potentially even higher for the driver of the 30. So looking for one of his best finishes of the season tomorrow. Certainly is primed for it.
Colton Herta making his way through turn 1 and 2. Another one comes in after a fairly strong showing at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Second in points, closest pursuer to Alex Palou, so needs a good weekend to try to keep Palou honest the next 2 weeks at Milwaukee and Nashville.
See some adjustments on the wheel, adjustments to the roll bars of the car. One of the things you got to work through as a team and as a driver is get through the different engine settings, try to work on your fuel maps, try to work on your driver fuel save. That's often an element that comes into, big play here in the race is fuel saving. The overcut, traditionally very powerful here at Portland, so you want to be able to sneak out that extra lap if you can. And because it is a short lap, it is a bit easier to achieve here than at a place like, say, Road America.
Yeah, that speed, not a fluke. Ferrucci will be tough tomorrow. Herta, Palou, Armstrong, Newgarden, and Felix Rosenquist, who's had an eventful weekend as well, make up the top 5.
Great to see Pietro Fittipaldi up there in the top 10 as well. Maybe some of that pace that was hidden, held back in qualifying, showing now. You see the McLaren drivers all kind of there in a row, 10th, 11th, 12th, and surprises like Kirkwood, Lundgaard, and McLaughlin down in 18th, 19th, and 20th. But you can't look too much into the times here in warm-up because you don't know what fuel levels are. You don't know when drivers maybe went to the alternates, how much push-to-pass did you use. So you really aren't looking at lap times in outright pace in warm-up. It's comparative lap times over a stint and the balance in the feel of the race car.